Myself, Dr. M. K. Gopru, Department Mathematics, Government College, Ajmer. In my earlier lecture, I proved some basic property, simple property of the group, that if we are given a group, then identity is unique, inverse is unique, inverse of A inverse is A again, and A operation B inverse will be equal to B inverse A, and its generalization that we have done. Today I am going to discuss some more simple properties, say cancellation law, cancellation law means left as well as right cancellation. If we are given a group, it is a group. Means as soon as we are given it is a group, it means we are given closure, associative, identity, etc. Every property holds good, and we have to prove that left cancellation law holds good. Means if we are given A operation X is equal to A operation Y, implies A X is equal to Y. This is the left cancellation, because of here A is cancelled out, and for right cancellation law, if we are given X A is equal to Y A, then implies that X is equal to Y, and here A is cancelled out since it is in right side, so it is known as right cancellation law. It means if we are given a group, then cancellation law, whether it is right or whether it is left, holds good. In order to prove this, we simply apply, since A belongs to G, A is an element of G, and since it is an element of G, A inverse also belongs to G. And we apply here A inverse operated by A inverse A operation X on the right side is equal to A inverse operation Y. By using the associative property, we can write A operation X is equal to A inverse operation A operation Y. Here we should write that we are using the associative property we should write, and by using A inverse A, since G is a group, A inverse A will be equal to identity and equal to X, and here again it is identity and Y. Identity property, we use the identity property here, and inverse property, inverse. And again, using identity property, we can find that X is equal to Y by using the identity property. So we prove that if we are given AX is equal to AY, implies X is equal to Y. Similarly, for right cancellation law, we can prove in this way. Only we have to take this A inverse on the right side of this, and we can easily prove this. So, in case of a group, left cancellation law as well as right cancellation law holds good. Again, one more property that I am going to prove is very important for in future edition of our study. That is, if we are given GA star, this algebraic structure is a group, we are given it is a group, then we have to prove that A operation X is equal to B and Y operation A is equal to B possesses unique solution. Possesses unique solution in it. Means these two equation possesses unique solution in the equation. It means here we have to prove that these two equation possesses the solution and the solution exists is unique one. It means we have to prove two things. One, solution exists and second, it is unique. So let us take the first equation, A operation X is equal to B. Since A belongs to G, here we have to show that the solution exists. Since A belongs to G, A inverse belongs to G, since it is a group, so A and B belongs to G, A inverse B belongs to G. Therefore, I can write A inverse operation B, since it is element of G and is equal to B is equal to, let us take left hand side of this. We can find as by using associative property, we can write here in this way, this is equal to this one using the associative property. We should write here associative property, and again A inverse is equal to identity into B. We use here inverse property, and again E into B is equal to B, means identity property used. So we prove that this is the solution. A operation X is equal to B. This means X possesses this value. It means A inverse B is a solution of this equation. So one thing we have proved that the solution exists. Again, it is unique. Solution exists, not only exists, but it is unique. Now we have to prove that it is unique. For the sake of uniqueness, we can take two solutions. Let us suppose two solutions exist, XA and X1 and X2 case. Let us say X1 and X2 are two solutions of this equation. It means A operation X1 satisfies this. X1 and X2 are two solutions. It means AX1 is equal to B is one satisfies the X1 satisfies this equation, and again X2 satisfies this equation. But B belongs to G, A belongs to G, and in this way both are equal to B. It means A operation X1 is equal to A operation X2, and by applying the cancellation law we can simply say X1 is equal to X2 by using the cancellation law as we proved earlier. So we can straightforward prove X1 is equal to X2. It means as we assume both these two are different solutions, but we prove that these two are not different. So this equation possesses a unique solution. Similarly, we can prove this equation also possesses a unique solution. Now, using these properties, we can define group in an alternative way in three different cases. Alternative definition of group in three different ways. A, if we are given a non-empty set G, here I am saying non-empty set G and a binary operation. Star. If a non-empty set along with the binary operation star possesses the property of associativity, means for all A, B, C belongs to G, A, B, C belongs to G, A operation B operation C is equal to A operation B operation C for all A, B, C belongs to G, and two equations AX, A operation X is equal to B, and A of Y operation A is equal to B, having unique solution. In it, in this algebraic structure, if these two property holds good, means it will be a group. This is the alternative definition of the group. We can prove alternatively, or in this I can write both. If we combine both of these, we can simply say a semi group possesses this property, is also a group. And second, B, if this non-empty set G along with binary operations X having the associative property and left cancellation law as well as right cancellation holds good, means cancellation and right cancellation law holds good, then again this will be a group. A non-empty set along with binary operation, it satisfies the associative property and left as well as right cancellation law holds good, means it will be a group. This we have to prove. And third definition, alternative definition of the group, if a non-empty set with along with binary operation holds the associative property and the left identity and left inverse or right identity and right inverse, then it will be a group. So we can define the group in three alternative ways. First, if a non-empty set along with binary operation is associative, or we can say it is a semi-group. If a semi-group satisfies this property, then this will be group. This we have to prove. Again, associative, again a semi-group possesses the left cancellation law as well as right cancellation law. It means it will be a group. This we have to prove. And associative property, a non-empty set along with binary operation having associative property and left identity, left inverse or right identity, right inverse, then it will be a group. So we can define a group in three different ways. We will take in one by one. Before taking this, here or in mathematics, we need some important definition or some important understanding. That is, in order to study mathematics, we come across the necessary and sufficient condition always. What is necessary and sufficient condition? We should learn it first. What is necessary and sufficient condition? I will take it later on, but today I will discuss the necessary and sufficient condition. In order to understand necessary and sufficient condition, we simply try to understand the thing necessary and sufficient with a simple example. What is necessary? For necessary condition, we assume theorem is theorem is true. Theorem is true, and we have to prove that conditions given. And for sufficient condition, we assume conditions are true. Conditions are true, then the theorem is proved. Theorem is proved. We can understand this by simple example. Three different conditions. First, as I say, first example, as I say, a man is died is motionless. A man is motionless and it died. It is a necessary condition, not sufficient. Why it is necessary condition? Man died motionless. If a man dies, naturally it will be a motionless. But a motionless man may be died or may not be died. So, necessary condition is that man dies means it is motionless. But motionless, it does not mean that man is died. So, this I can understand. This is the example for necessary condition. Again, for sufficient condition, if I struck the head of the man, the man dies. It is a sufficient condition. Why it is sufficient condition? If I struck down the head of the man, it means he is definitely died. But a died man, not necessarily its head is broken or is struck down. A man can die in any other ways also. So it is a sufficient condition. And third example is that if heartbeat ceases of a man, then what will happen? It is necessary and a sufficient condition both. Why? Heartbeat ceases means man dies, and man dies means heartbeat ceases. So from these three examples, we can understand the necessary and sufficient condition in very well manner. So today I took the necessary and sufficient condition as an example. With some example, I think you will find it the necessary and sufficient condition in your mind, and you can go across the terms in all mathematical exercises during your different branches of mathematics. You will need to learn this aspect. In my next lecture, I will prove all the three theorems that I established here today. I will prove later on in my next lecture. Thank you.